The rain-slicked streets of Manhattan gleamed under the sodium glow of streetlights, but inside the penthouse, the air was thicker than fog, charged with the kind of silence that precedes a storm. Damian Blackwood, the city's most ruthless real estate tycoon, loomed over me like a shadow come to life. His tailored suit rumpled from the chase, his dark eyes narrowing to slits as he raised the letter opener like a dagger. "You think you can unravel everything I've built?" he snarled, voice low and venomous, the blade catching the light as it pressed against my collarbone. But then his grip faltered, just for a heartbeat, and in that flicker, I saw it. Recognition, raw and unguarded, twisting his features into something almost human. I wasn't supposed to be here. Last I remembered, I was curled up in my cramped Brooklyn apartment, eyelids heavy from binge-reading Shadows of Desire, that addictive BL web series about a cutthroat villain who destroys everyone in his path until a plucky journalist exposes his secrets. The story had hooked me from the first chapter. Damian, the ice-cold antihero with a backstory of betrayal that made you ache for him even as you hated him. I dozed off mid-cliffhanger, the tablet slipping from my fingers. Now, somehow, I was Ethan Hale, the series' wide-eyed protagonist, the one man fated to be Damian's undoing. Not through scandal or sabotage, but through the one weapon neither of us saw coming: love. My heart hammered as I stared up at him, the cold metal biting into my skin just enough to draw a thin line of blood. Damian's breath came in sharp bursts, his chiseled jaw clenched so tight I thought it might crack. He was even more imposing in person, tall, broad-shouldered, with that signature scar slicing across his left eyebrow from a childhood accident the series only hinted at. In the books, this was the scene where Ethan fights back, grabs a lamp, and clocks the villain over the head before fleeing into the night. But my body wouldn't move. Instead, words tumbled out, unscripted and desperate. "Damian, wait, it's not what you think. I didn't come here to destroy you. I came because I see you." He froze, the letter opener hovering. His eyes, those stormy grays the fan swooned over, searched mine with a ferocity that pinned me in place. For a split second, the penthouse faded, the floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the Hudson, the minimalist furniture screaming old money, and it was just us, two strangers locked in a gaze that felt like destiny rewritten. Then reality crashed back. He yanked the blade away, shoving me against the wall with a growl. "See me? You journalists are all the same, vultures picking at scars." But his voice cracked on the last word, and as he turned away, rubbing his temple like it pained him, I knew. This wasn't the Damian from the pages. This was real, and I was in way over my head. I slumped to the floor, pulse racing, as the door to the study slammed behind him. The apartment, his apartment, now my prison of sorts, echoed with the finality of it. How had this happened? 1 minute, I'm Alex Rivera, a 28-year-old graphic designer scraping by on freelance gigs, hiding my queerness in a city that preached acceptance but still whispered judgments. The next, I'm Ethan, the series' beacon of hope, a bisexual investigative reporter with a knack for uncovering truths that could topple empires. The swap felt like a cruel joke from some cosmic editor, thrusting me into a narrative I knew by heart but couldn't control. I pushed myself up, wincing at the sting on my neck, and padded to the bathroom mirror. Ethan's face stared back, my face now, soft jawline, tousled auburn hair, hazel eyes that held a warmth Alex never quite mustered. But beneath it, I felt my own panic bubbling. In the series, Ethan was brave, unflinching, the kind of guy who charmed his way through danger. Me? I'd spent years dodging my conservative family's sidelong glances, burying crushes on guys who saw me as just a friend. This wasn't a dream. The chill of the marble floor, the faint scent of Damian's cologne, sandalwood, and steel lingered too vividly. A buzz from my pocket jolted me. My phone, Ethan's phone, lit up with a text from Jamie, my best friend in the story and, apparently, now in this twisted reality. "Dude, you okay? Heard Blackwood's goons roughed you up at the gala. Call me." Jamie Ruiz, the fiery lesbian photographer who documented Ethan's exposés with her lens, always the voice of reason laced with sarcasm. In the books, she was the comic relief, but her loyalty ran deep, a quiet rebellion against the world's biases. I typed back, fingers trembling. I'm fine. Just processing. It was a lie, but what else could I say? Hey, I think I'm trapped in a web novel, and the villain just tried to shish kebab me? The night dragged on, shadows lengthening as I paced the guest room. Damien had unceremoniously locked me in. He hadn't called security yet. That hesitation earlier, the way his eyes softened. It mirrored the series' turning point, Chapter 17, where Ethan glimpses Damien's vulnerability during a rain-soaked confrontation. But here, it felt heavier, laced with the weight of unspoken pains. Damien Blackwood wasn't just a villain. He was a man forged in fire, abandoned by his queer father who chose a straight-laced life over family, raised by a mother who preached perfection to mask her own regrets. The series peeled back those layers slowly, revealing a heart armored against love, especially the kind society deemed wrong. By dawn, exhaustion pulled me under again, but sleep brought no escape. I dreamed of Alex's life, stolen kisses and hidden bars, the sting of rejection from a college boyfriend who feared his family's wrath, the quiet pride of marching in pride parades while dodging protesters' slurs. Waking to the click of the door, I bolted upright. Damien stood there, tray in hand, coffee, toast, eggs, like some domestic truce. His shirt was unbuttoned at the collar, revealing a tattoo I didn't remember from the books, a fractured heart, inked in black and red. Eat, he said curtly, setting it down. Then we talk. If you're here to expose me, hail, make it quick. I don't have time for games. I swallowed hard, the aroma of fresh brew grounding me. It's not a game, Damien. And it's not about exposure. That article you think I wrote? It wasn't mine. Someone framed me. Your rival, probably. Victor Lang. In the series, Victor was the scheming antagonist, a closeted exec who hated Damien for outshining him, using dirty tricks to fuel the feud. Naming him now felt like cheating fate, but desperation won. Damien's gaze sharpened, suspicion warring with curiosity. He sank into the armchair across from me, legs crossed, exuding that effortless power that made boardrooms tremble. Lang? He's a worm, but he'd need inside help. Why should I believe you? His tone was laced with that familiar edge, defensive, probing, like a man who'd been burned too many times. Because I know things I shouldn't, I blurted, heart pounding. Like how you got that scar, not from a bar fight, but from defending your dad when homophobes cornered him outside a club. Or how you fund anonymous scholarships for LGBTQ youth, even though you deny it to your grave. The words hung heavy, pulled from the series' deep lore. Damien's face drained of color, his fists clenching the armrests. For the first time, fear flickered in those steel eyes, not of me, but of being truly seen. Who the hell are you? He whispered, leaning forward. The vulnerability cracked his facade, and in that breach, something stirred in me. Not just Ethan's scripted affection, but Alex's own longing for connection beyond pretense. This man, vilified in pages and whispers alike, was more than his empire of glass towers. He was a survivor, scarred by the same prejudices that had silenced my own voice for years. I'm the guy who knows your story better than you think, I said softly, meeting his stare. And maybe, the one who can help rewrite the ending. The word sealed it. Damien didn't throw me out. Instead, he nodded once, sharp and decisive, and rose. Prove it. Come to the office tomorrow. If you're lying, hail, I'll bury you myself. As he left, the door clicking shut without a lock this time, a thrill shot through me, equal parts terror and exhilaration. I'd bought time, but in this blended reality, every choice rippled. The series' plot twisted toward alliance, betrayal, redemption. But with my knowledge bleeding into Ethan's life, I could steer it toward truth, love not as weakness, but as the strength to shatter chains. Little did I know, the first twist waited in the lobby the next morning. Jamie was there, arms crossed, her dark curls framing a face etched with worry. Ethan, what the fuck? You ghost me after Blackwood's security hauls you off, and now you're strolling into his lair like it's brunch. She pulled me into a fierce hug, her camera bag slung over one shoulder, a badge of her unapologetic queerness in a world that still side-eyed it. I hugged back, the familiarity anchoring me. In the books, Jamie was Ethan's rock, Her own story arc a slow burn of self-acceptance after a bad breakup with a woman who couldn't handle the spotlight. It's complicated, I murmured, pulling away. But trust me, he's not what everyone thinks. She arched a brow, Latina fire in her eyes. Famous last words. Remember Marcus? The misunderstood artist who ghosted me after I came out to his Bible-thumping folks. Her laugh was bitter, but it masked the hurt. The kind I'd felt too, nursing Alex's wounds from exes who bolted at the first hint of labels. I remember, I said, throat tight. But this is different. Damien. He's fighting the same ghosts we are. Jamie studied me, then sighed, linking her arm with mine as we headed to the elevator. Fine. But if he breaks you, I'll break his kneecaps. Deal. Her protectiveness warmed the chill of uncertainty, a reminder that in this world or mine, chosen family was the real armor against the world's barbs. Damien's office atop Blackwood Tower was a fortress of steel and glass, the city sprawling below like a conquered kingdom. He greeted us with a curt nod, his suit impeccable, but shadows under his eyes betrayed a sleepless night. Ruiz, he acknowledged Jamie coolly, though his gaze lingered on me with that unnerving intensity. You vouch for her? Always, I said, stepping forward. And she can help. Her photos caught Lang's men planting that fake evidence at the gala. Jamie whipped out her tablet, swiping to grainy shots, shadowy figures tampering with files, Victor Lang's smug face in the background. Damien's jaw tightened as he scrolled, the room thickening with tension. This could ruin him, he muttered, almost to himself. Then, sharper, why risk it? What's your angle, Hale? No angle, just survival, and maybe, buried deeper, the pull of something real. Because burying people isn't the win you think it is, I replied, echoing a line from the series but infusing it with Alex's quiet conviction. It's lonely as hell. The words landed like a punch. Damien's mask slipped again, a flash of isolation in his eyes. The boy who'd hidden his first crush on a teammate. The man who'd built walls to keep the world at bay. He set the tablet down, rubbing his scar absently. Meetings in 10. Stay? Both of you. It wasn't a request. As he strode out, Jamie whistled low. Okay, that's new. Plot twist much. She grinned, but her eyes held questions. About me? About this fragile bridge to the enemy. The boardroom showdown was electric. Victor Lang, slick and silver-haired, sneered across the mahogany table, his homophobic jabs veiled as traditional values talk. Damien countered with steel, but I saw the toll, the way his fingers drummed, betraying nerves. When Lang dropped the bomb, waving evidence of Damien's personal indiscretions to the board, the room erupted in murmurs. Prejudice hung thick, executives shifting uncomfortably at whispers of unnatural alliances. My cue. I stood, voice steady despite the quake inside. That's bullshit, and you know it, Victor. Those photos. Doctored. Just like the article you planted on me. I projected Jamie's images, the truth blazing on the screen. Gasps rippled, Lang's face purpled. You little, he spat, but Damien's voice cut through like thunder. Enough. He rose, commanding silence. Lang, you're done. Security. As guards escorted the sputtering man out, Damien turned to me, something unspoken passing between us, gratitude, wariness, and beneath it, a spark. Later, in the quiet of his office, he poured scotch, offering me a glass. You saved my ass today. His tone was gruff, but his eyes held warmth, the first crack in the villain's armor. Team effort, I said, clinking glasses. The liquor burned, loosening tongues. We talked, not plot points, but fragments of truth. He confessed the tattoo's origin, inked after his father's funeral, a reminder that broken hearts could mend or shatter forever. I shared Alex's echoes, nights questioning if love was worth the hate it drew. It's scary, I admitted. Putting yourself out there when the world's waiting to judge. Damien leaned closer, the space between us electric. Scary's better than numb. His hand brushed mine, tentative, and time stuttered. In the series, this was the first kiss, scripted and swoony. But here, it was a question, hanging. I pulled back gently, not from fear, but timing. We take it slow, build something real. He nodded, respect flickering. But as I left with Jamie, phone buzzing with threats from Lang's allies, I felt the plot coiling tighter. Twists loomed, betrayals, revelations, and in this heart-pounding merge of worlds, my choices could save us. Or doom us all. The subway rattled beneath the city like a vein pulsing with secrets, and I clung to the pole, Jamie's head on my shoulder, as we hurtled toward Brooklyn. Her soft snores were a balm after the day's chaos, but my mind raced ahead, replaying Damien's touch, the ghost of it lingering on my skin like an unfinished sentence. What was I doing? In shadows of desire, Ethan and Damien's bond ignited fast, a whirlwind of passion amid corporate intrigue. But I wasn't Ethan, not fully. Alex's caution whispered warnings. Love in the margins meant risks, family disownments, job losses, the slow erosion of self under societal glares. Yet here, in this borrowed life, ignoring the pull felt like denying oxygen. Jamie's eyes fluttered open at our stop, her yawn breaking the spell. You were staring into space like you saw a ghost. Spill, Ethan. What's really going on with Blackwood? We climbed the stairs into the crisp autumn air, leaves skittering across sidewalks lined with brownstones. Her apartment was a stone's throw from mine. Ours, now, a cozy chaos of film reels and protest posters, a testament to her unyielding spirit. I hesitated on the stoop, key in hand. It's intense. Like, he's not the monster the headlines paint. We stepped inside, the scent of takeout lingering from last night's binge. She flopped onto the couch, patting the spot beside her. Intense how? Cute intense, or run for the hills intense? Her teasing masked concern, the kind born from shared battle scars. Her coming out at 19, met with her mother's tears and her father's silence. My own memories bleeding through, of Thanksgiving dinners where my queerness was the elephant no one named. I sank down, elbows on knees. The first kind, I think. But it's complicated. He trusts me. Barely, but Lang's out for blood now. Victor's parting glare in the boardroom had promised payback, his bigotry fueling a vendetta that went beyond business. In the series, he outed Damien's past flings to tank his reputation, twisting private pain into public scandal. Jamie nodded, grabbing her laptop. Then we hit him first. I've got contacts at the Sentinel. We expose his dirt, offshore accounts, bribes to zoning boards. Make it about the greed, not the gossip. Her fingers flew over keys, pulling up files, but I saw the flicker. Her own brushes with discrimination, editors killing her stories on trans rights because they stirred controversy. You're brilliant, I said, squeezing her hand. But promise me, whatever happens, we face it together. No solo heroics. Deal. She grinned, fierce and fond. Now, pizza? My treat for saving your ass from becoming villain bait. As slices arrived, grease spotting the coffee table, laughter flowed easier. We swapped stories. Hers of a recent rally where queer activists chained themselves to City Hall steps. Mine a half-truth about a weird dream that felt too real. For a moment, normalcy reigned, a fragile bubble in the storm. But the bubble burst at midnight. My phone shattered the quiet. Unknown number, a voice distorted but venomous. Stay away from Blackwood, hail. Or your little photographer friend pays the price. Click. Ice flooded my veins. Lang. I bolted up, dialing Damien before reason kicked in. He answered on the second ring, voice husky with sleep. Ethan? What's wrong? Threat. Against Jamie. Words tumbled out, frantic. Silence stretched, then, get to my place. Now. I'll send a car. 20 minutes later, the black SUV idled outside, driver stone-faced. Jamie protested. I'm not hiding. But I convinced her with a plea. For me. Please. Reluctantly, she packed a bag, and we sped through neon-lit streets to the penthouse, where Damien waited, phone to ear, barking orders to his security team. He looked wrecked, hair disheveled, sleeves rolled up, yet his presence steadied me. Trace the call, he said, ending the line. Burner phone, but it pinged near Lang's offices. He's desperate. His eyes met mine, dark with worry. You okay? I nodded, though my hands shook. Jamie hovered, arms crossed, assessing him. Nice fortress, Mr. Blackwood. But if this is your idea of protection, I've seen better in action flicks. A ghost of a smile tugged his lips. Call me Damien, and it's better than nothing. He gestured to the guest wing. Stay as long as you need. Both of you. She eyed him, then me, before shrugging. Fine, but coffee better be strong. As she vanished down the hall, Damien turned to me, closer now, the air humming. Thank you, I murmured. For this. For believing me. His hand lifted, thumb brushing my cheek, tentative, electric. Don't thank me yet. This war's just starting. The touch lingered, a promise unspoken, and as he pulled away, I felt the shift, from scripted rivals to something raw, uncharted. Sleep evaded me that night, the penthouse's silence amplifying every creak. I wandered to the library, floor-to-ceiling shelves groaning under leather-bound tomes and hidden files. Moonlight slanted through windows, illuminating a photo tucked behind a row. Young Damien, arm around a lanky teen with his same gray eyes. His brother, lost to a hate crime years ago, the series' buried tragedy. My chest ached. Alex's grief for a cousin who'd faced similar violence mirrored it too keenly. Footsteps pulled me from reverie. Damien leaned in the doorway, shirt untucked, vulnerability etched in the lines of his face. Can't sleep either? I shook my head, holding up the photo. I'm sorry. About him. His expression shuddered, then softened. Evan. He was. Everything good in me, before the world beat it out. He crossed to me, taking the frame gently. Coming out killed our folks' marriage. Dad left, Mom spiraled. Evan paid the price for my selfishness, they said. Street kids like us, easy targets. The confession hung heavy, prejudices woven into family fractures. I stepped closer, hand on his arm. It wasn't your fault. Love isn't selfish. It's survival. He searched my face, walls crumbling. How do you do that? See through the bullshit. Because I've lived it, I whispered, Alex's truths surfacing. Hiding who I am to keep the peace, losing people anyway. But you're worth seeing, Damien. All of you. Time suspended. His lips brushed mine, soft, questioning, and I leaned in, the kiss deepening with the weight of shared scars. No fire, just embers, tender, healing. When we parted, foreheads touching, he murmured, Stay. Not just tonight. I will, I promised, heart full. But dawn brought the call, Jamie's voice, edged with panic. Ethan, it's bad. Lang's leaking stories, about you and Damien. The whole city's talking. The bubble shattered. As we dressed for battle, Damien's hand found mine, solid, unyielding. The villain's weakness wasn't me. It was us, together against the tide. Outside, paparazzi swarmed the lobby, flashes blinding. Blackwood's boy toy, one shouted, slurs twisting the air. Damien's grip tightened, his face a mask of fury, but I saw the flinch, the old wounds reopening. We pushed through, Jamie's cab waiting. At the Sentinel, chaos reigned, editors yelling, phones ringing off hooks. The leak painted us as scandal, Damien seducing a reporter for favors, me as the gold-digging bisexual opportunist. Lies, but they stung, echoing every stereotype I'd fought. Fight fire with fire, Jamie declared, rallying us. We go public, our way. An op-ed, your photos, Damien's testimony. On the narrative. He hesitated, gaze on me. Exposure like that. It digs up everything. I nodded. We face it head on. No more hiding. The piece wrote itself in a frenzy, my words weaving Damien's truths with Alex's echoes, Jamie's images capturing raw emotion, not exploitation, but defiance. Love isn't leverage, I typed. It's the light in the shadows we all fear. By evening, it hit the wires. Backlash erupted, trolls spewing hate, allies rallying with love unleashed. But amid the storm, a call came. Victor Lang, arrested for embezzlement, his empire crumbling under audits we'd tipped off. Victory tasted bittersweet. That night, in the penthouse, Damien pulled me close on the balcony, city lights twinkling below. You changed everything, he said, voice thick. We did, I corrected, kissing him softly. But as stars wheeled overhead, a nagging doubt stirred. Was this my story now, or would the series pull me back? Weeks blurred into a fragile rhythm, the penthouse transforming from fortress to haven. Mornings dawned with coffee shared over the island, Damien's rare smiles cracking like sunlight through clouds. He'd linger, tie loose, recounting boardroom battles with a humor the series never captured, dry, self-deprecating, hinting at the man beneath the mogul. Afternoons, Jamie commandeered the study for edits, her shoots now featuring queer voices, trans entrepreneurs, non-binary artists, stories the media ignored. "This is us flipping the script," she'd say, lens clicking like applause. Evenings were ours, walks along the High Line, hands brushing anonymously in crowds, conversations delving deeper. Damien opened up about Evan in fragments, stolen summers at Coney Island, arcade wins and cotton candy lies, the night Evan didn't come home from a bar crawl, beaten for holding a guy's hand. "I built this empire to protect what's mine," he'd confess, voice raw, but it isolated me more. I'd share Alex's layers, design gigs lost to family values clients, the joy of underground poetry slams where labels dissolved in verse. "We armor up," I'd say, but the cracks let the good in too. Yet tension simmered. Whispers followed us. Board members questioning Damien's distraction, tabloids dredging his past flings with a venom that reeked of envy and bias. One night, over takeout Thai, his phone lit with an email, anonymous, vicious. "Your weakness will be your downfall. Ask Ethan about his secrets." My stomach dropped. How? The series had no such plot. This was new, a glitch in the weave. Damien slammed the device down, eyes stormy. "Ignore it. Liars thrive on fear. But fear not." That night, as he slept beside me, chest rising steady, scars silver in moonlight, I slipped from bed, heart pounding. The library called, shelves hiding more than books. Rifling drawers, I found a locked box, key taped beneath. Inside, letters, faded and folded. From Evan, pre-death pleas for Damien to live loud. "Bro, no more hiding for Dad's ghost." And one from me, "Alex, dated yesterday, in my handwriting. Wake up. This isn't real. Fight the pull." Chills raced my spine. Was I bleeding into the world, or vice versa? Morning brought confrontation. Over breakfast, I slid the letter across. "Damien, listen, I think I'm not from here." The words felt mad, but his gaze held steady, no ridicule. "Explain." Simple, trusting. Haltingly, I spilled. The web series, the nap, the swap. His face shifted, skepticism to dawning horror. "You're saying this is fiction? That I'm a character?" He laughed, bitter. "Explains the déjà vu, the way you knew my scars." "It's bleeding real," I pressed. "But we can change it. No tragic end. Evan avenged, love unashamed." He paced, fists clenched. "If it's a story, who's the author?" "God." Some bored kid in pajamas. Pain edged his voice, the ultimate prejudice, existence as plot device. Before I could answer, Jamie burst in, face ashen. "Guys, it's bad. Protest outside. Anti-LGBTQ group, Lang's puppets. Signs calling you corruptors, Damien a predator." Cops are dragging their feet. We rushed to the window. Below, a mob chanted, placards dripping vitriol. "God hates deviants." My blood ran cold. Alex's memories surged. Pride counter-protests, bricks through windows. Damien's hand found mine, squeezing. "Stay inside." "No," I said, fire rising. "We face them. Together." Jamie nodded, grabbing her camera. "Document the hate. Turn it to fuel." Descending, security flanked us, but the crowd surged, slurs flying like shrapnel. A bottle shattered nearby. I shielded Jamie as shards rained. Damien roared, pulling us back, but not before a man lunged, face twisted, spitting, freak. His fist connected with my jaw, stars exploding. Chaos. Cops finally moved, but the damage lingered, bruise blooming, spirit cracked. Back upstairs, ice on my face, Damien's rage boiled over. "This ends now. I won't let them touch you." His protectiveness warmed, but guilt twisted me. "It's my fault, bringing this world into yours." He cupped my face gently, thumb tracing the swelling. "Our world, Ethan, or Alex, whoever you are. You're not a weakness. You're the reason I fight." The kiss that followed was fierce, anchoring, a vow against the storm. But as sirens wailed below, another twist loomed, a knock at the door. Security escorted in a woman, mid-40s, sharp suit, eyes like Damien's. "Mr. Blackwood? I'm Elena Voss, from the DA's office. We need to talk about Victor Lang and your involvement." Damien's face paled. "Elena? No such character. Fresh plot, unraveling fast." She sat, unfolding files. Lang's not just embezzling. He's funding that mob. Hate groups, disguised donations. But your name's in the ledgers too. Co-signer on a shell company. Lies. Damien snarled, but doubt flickered. I scanned the docs, forged signatures, but the dates. Preemie. Had the series villainy stuck, or was this sabotage deeper? I'll clear it, he vowed. But Elena's gaze lingered on us, sympathetic yet probing. Be careful. These waters run dark. Prejudices make monsters of us all. Alone again, tension crackled. You believe me? He asked, voice small. Always. But as I held him, the letter burned in my pocket. Wake up. What if ending the story meant losing him? The investigation dragged, days into weeks, paranoia seeping in. Jamie's photos went viral, humanizing the hate. Victims' faces, protesters' hypocrisy, but backlash mounted. Anonymous tips flooded, death threats, doxing. Damien doubled security, but isolation crept, our haven turning cage. One evening, rain lashing windows, he cracked. What if it's true? The ledgers. What if I'm the villain after all? Curled on the couch, head in my lap, he trembled, the mighty tycoon reduced, prejudices he'd internalized whispering unworthiness. I stroked his hair, voice steady. Villains don't doubt. They destroy. You build scholarships, safe houses. That's heroism. He looked up, eyes glistening. Stay with me through this. Promise. Promise. But sleep brought dreams. Alex's life fracturing, the series end, Damien alone, heart shattered. I woke sweating, resolve hardening. Time to hack the code, confront the source. Next day, I cornered Jamie in the kitchen. Hypothetically, if this life was a book, how'd you rewrite it? She paused, mug midway. Easy. More queer joy, less trauma porn. What? Just thinking. But it sparked a plan. Using my designer skills, I mocked up a manifesto, a digital zine, crowdsourcing stories from LGBTQ survivors, tying Lang's crimes to systemic rot. Damien greenlit it, his network amplifying. Launch night, a virtual gala streamed live. Thousands tuned in, survivors sharing, allies pledging. Damien spoke last, voice breaking. I hid my heart for years, fearing judgment. But love, messy, brave, taught me strength. Ethan showed me that. Cheers erupted online. I teared up, pride swelling. But midstream, the hack hit. Screens glitching, Elena's face superimposed, accusing. Blackwood's empire built on blood money. Proof inside. Panic. Damien bolted for his office, me trailing. The file, bank records, irrefutable, transfers to hate fronts, signed by him. Impossible, he whispered, collapsing into his chair. My gut twisted. The dates matched Evan's death. Guilt payments? No, framed. But doubt poisoned the air. Who are you really, Ethan? He demanded, eyes haunted. If this is a story, am I redeemable? The question gutted me. Yes, but we need truth. Storming out, I hit the streets, rain soaking me, chasing leads to Lang's lawyer, a sleazy type from the fringes. Cornered in a dive bar, he spilled under pressure. Lang paid me to forge it. Blackwood's clean, donations rerouted, made to look dirty. Relief flooded, but too late. Back home, Damien was gone. Note, need space. Don't follow. Love, D. Heart-shattering, I called Jamie. He's run. Help me find him. The hunt began at dawn, city a maze of shadows. We traced his card, a dive motel in Queens, far from towers. Bursting in, we found him, drunk, photo of Evan clutched, tears streaming. You came, he slurred, pulling me down. Always. As he sobbed, truths poured. Post-Evan, he'd funneled money to rehab groups, conversion therapy fronts, unwittingly, in grief-fueled rage. I was broken, hated myself for loving like Dad. Hate cycle. You stopped it, I soothed. Now heal, with me. Dawn broke as he nodded, fragile hope dawning. But Elena's call confirmed. Charges dropped, Lang indicted. Victory, hard won. Yet the real climax brewed. That night, fever hit, reality blurring. Visions, Alex's apartment, tablet glowing. Wake up, it urged. I fought, clinging to Damien. Not yet. The fever raged like a digital glitch, reality pixelating at the edges. Damien's face morphing into code, the penthouse dissolving into static. I thrashed in sweat-soaked sheets, his hands cool on my brow. Jamie fetching ice from the kitchen with muttered curses. This ain't flu, Ethan. Talk to us. What's happening? Between shivers, fragments escaped. The series meta-twist. A hidden chapter where the protagonist realizes the villain's love anchors him to the page. It's pulling me back, I gasped, gripping Damien's shirt. The story wants its ending. Tragic, alone. His eyes, red-rimmed from vigil, hardened. Then we fight it. You're not leaving. He pressed a kiss to my temple, fierce as oath. Jamie hovered, skepticism warring with loyalty. If this is some breakdown from stress, fine. But if it's real, we rewrite the damn book. Hours blurred, delirium weaving nightmares. Lang's mob morphing into series villains, slurs echoing as plot devices. Woke to sunlight, weak but lucid, Damien asleep beside me. Jamie crashed on the chaise. The fever broke, but clarity sharpened the stakes. If I faded, did he reset? Heart hardened anew? Rebuilding started small. Therapy sessions, Damien's first. Unpacking Evan's ghost with a queer counselor who saw through macho veils. Grief isn't linear, she said, her own ink, rainbow phoenix, peeking from her cuff. I joined, sharing the transmigration terror, Alex's buried shame surfacing like unearthed roots. Feels like I'm two people, I confessed. But maybe that's strength, bisexual heart, doubled capacity for love. Damien squeezed my hand under the table. Double trouble, too. His joke masked growth. The man who'd once fired AIDS for weakness now embraced vulnerability. Publicly, the zine exploded, spawning a foundation, Hearts Unchained, funding anti-hate initiatives. Damien fronted it unapologetically, coming out in a TED-style talk that went viral. I built walls against love, fearing it made me weak. But Ethan taught me, it's the brick that holds. Backlash hit hard, boycotts, death threats, but support surged, celebs, everyday folks sharing my unchained heart. Jamie's exhibit at MoMA followed, photos of us amid protests, not victims, but warriors. Yet undercurrents stirred. Anonymous emails resumed, laced with series quotes. The weakness must fall. Paranoia? Or the narrative resisting change? One traced to a hacker collective, queer coders, ironically, radicalized by the zine, but twisting it into expose the elite. Confrontation came at a foundation gala, chandeliers glittering over tuxes and gowns. Damien, dashing in velvet lapels, arm through mine. Nervous? He murmured, breath warm on my ear. Thrilled. Truth. His nearness grounded me. The kiss we'd shared pre-fever, now daily ritual. Soft explorations, building trust. Mid-speech, Damien honoring survivors. A glitch, screens flickering to old footage, him signing those ledgers. Gasps rippled, whispers of fraud snaked through. He faltered, but I stepped up, mic in hand. That's the past, hijacked by hate. Here's the truth. Hued Jamie's reel, audits clearing him, Lang's confessions. Cheers erupted, but backstage, a note waited. Change the ending, lose the hero. Midnight, rooftop. Heart sinking, I showed Damien. Trap. Or key. His resolve mirrored mine. Jamie insisted, I'm coming. Triple threat. Midnight. Wind whipping the tower's spire, we ascended. No mob, just a figure in hoodie. Young, non-binary, eyes fierce behind glasses. Riley, they said, voice steady. From Code Queer. We leaked to test you. See if you'd crumble or fight. Damien tensed. Test? People's lives. Riley cut in. Exactly. Lang's cronies still lurk. We needed proof you're real. They handed a drive. Encrypted files dismantling the remnants of Lang's network, sourced from whistleblowers. Gratitude warred with anger. Next time, coffee invite. I quipped, easing tension. Riley grinned. Deal. Allies, not enemies. Descending, Damien pulled me aside. You handled that, like you always do. We. The word sealed us deeper, love's roots entwining. But the pull intensified. Dreams turned prophetic. Alex's body stirring, series ending flashing. Damien, broken, alone. Woke gasping, Damien stirring. Again. Yeah. Tears pricked. I don't want to go. Then don't. Simple, profound. We made love then. Not scripted passion, but tender joining. hands mapping scars, whispers affirming worth. In afterglow, he traced my chest. If you fade, take this, my heart. It's yours. Dawn brought resolve. If the story demanded sacrifice, I'd defy it. Rallying Jamie and Riley's crew, we launched Operation Anchor, a digital archive, locking our truths online. Unerasable proof of change. Make it impossible to reset, I said, coding late nights. Damien fetching fuel. Pizza, pep talks. Climax brewed at Pride. NYC's arteries throbbing with color, floats blaring anthems. We marched, Damien's arm around me, Jamie snapping candids. But midway, the glitch hit, world shimmering, voices distorting to narrative echo. The weakness breaks, it hissed. I staggered, vision tunneling. Damien caught me. Fight it. Grounding. His voice, Jamie's shout, rainbows everywhere. This is real. I chanted, pushing back. The shimmer faded, crowd cheering as we crested the route. But the final twist waited home. Tablet on the counter, glowing, shadows of desire, final chapter open. Words shifting, Ethan vanished, but Damien lived, unchained, loving fiercely. Tears fell. It's ending. But we won. He pulled me close. Our story now. As sleep claimed me, Alex's world beckoned, but I chose here, heart anchored. Woke to sunlight, Damien's kiss. No swap. Just us. Real, rewritten. Epilogue whispers. Years on, hearts unchained thrives. Prejudice is cracked by stories like ours. Love's not weakness. It's the plot twist that saves. Months post-Pride, the city felt reborn, scars fading under fresh blooms in Central Park, where Damien and I picnicked, his head in my lap as joggers streamed by. Remember when I almost knifed you? He teased, tracing lazy circles on my knee. I laughed, threading fingers through his hair. Best wake-up call ever. Truth lingered beneath. The merge had stabilized, Alex's essence fused with Ethan's, creating a whole stronger than parts. No more glitches, just life. Rich, textured, laced with the thrill of what-ifs conquered. Jamie's wedding loomed, a queer extravaganza in the Hamptons. Her to Sophia, a poet with firebrand verses that rivaled her lens. You two are officiants, she declared, no room for debate. Damien grumbled about tuxes. Feels like a board meeting, but his eyes sparkled. The man who'd once shunned vulnerability, now embracing it wholesale. Prep consumed us. Tastings of lavender cupcakes, debates over vows that wove in their shared rebellions, Sophia's exile from a rigid immigrant family, Jamie's climb from street shoots to gallery walls. It's like our story, I told Damien one night, curled in bed, city hum a lullaby. Overcoming the noise. He hummed agreement, lips brushing my shoulder. But ours has better plot twists. His hand wandered, playful, drawing chuckles. Intimacy had deepened, not just physical, but emotional cartography, mapping fears, celebrating triumphs. No rush, just presence, the antidote to years of hiding. The ceremony dawned golden, beach sands whispering under arches of wildflowers. Jamie, radiant in a linen suit, eyes locked on Sophia's flowing gown. Vows exchanged. I see you, all of you, and choose you every dawn. Tears flowed. Damien's grip tightened on mine, his own eyes misty. That's us, he whispered. Reception buzzed, dancing under stars, toasts toasting resilience. Riley showed, now a foundation board member, their non-binary flair turning heads. To rewritten endings, they clinked, drive of old hacks long buried. But mid-waltz, Damien twirling me, effortless grace, my phone vibrated. Unknown, a voice from the series Ghost. You think you escaped? The villain always falls. Click. Chill despite the warmth. Damien noticed. Lang. Worse. Echoes. I hadn't voiced the residual pulls. Nights where narrative tugged, urging tragedy. But here, amid joy, it felt distant, a defeated foe. He pulled me closer, sway slowing. Then we danced through it. Back in the city, normalcy beckoned, my graphic design firm booming with queer-led brands. Damien mentoring at-risk youth, his soft side, he'd quip. Yet shadows lingered. A board leak, internal dissent, execs uncomfortable with his lifestyle, pushing for ouster. Confrontation in the tower, suits circling, veiled barbs about distractions. Damien stood tall. My life isn't your ledger. Cross me, and you're out. They backed down, but the toll showed. Nights pacing, doubts creeping. I ambushed him in the study. Talk. He sighed, sinking into leather. They see me as less. For loving you. For being me. Prejudices whisper, insidious. They're wrong. You're unbreakable. His smile was wry. With you, yeah. Alliance formed. I designed a rebrand. Blackwood Enterprises as inclusivity beacon, ads featuring diverse faces. Pushback came, stock dips, but loyalty rallied, investors praising authenticity. Climax crested at the annual summit. Keynote slot, Damien on stage, me backstage, nerves jangling. He spoke of Evan's legacy, love's power to rebuild. Weakness? Nah. It's the heart that innovates, connects. Applause thundered, a standing ovation sealed it. Post-talk, a fan approached, young, trembling. Your story. It gave me courage to come out. Damien hugged him, voice thick. Own it, kid. That night, champagne toasts turned tender. You slayed. I murmured, toasting. We. His kiss deepened, world narrowing to us. But the echo struck again. Dream of dissolution, me fading like mist. Woke clawing sheets, Damien soothing. It's ending for real? Maybe. Fear choked. What if? Shoo. He held me. Our chapters just beginning. Morning brought action. I scoured the web, tracing the voice to a superfan forum, Shadows devotees, role-playing the plot. One user, Alex Rivera, me from before. Messages begged, finish the story. Give us tragedy. Horror dawned. My old life, unfinished reads fueling the pull. I messaged back, the ending's happy. Live it. Log off, heart pounding. Damien read over shoulder. Fans as villains? Wild. We laughed, but resolve hardened. To sever ties, a final act. Co-author a memoir. Unchained hearts, truths unvarnished. Launch packed the house, hues snaking blocks. Readings drew tears, questions probing. How do you overcome the hate? Each other, Damien said, hand in mine. Book soared, bestseller lists conquered. Echoes silenced, my past archived. Years folded, adoption papers signed. 2 boys, 1 trans, 1 questioning. Family forged in love's fire. Jamie's kids, wild imps, tumbling through holidays. Damien's empire? Sustainable now, green towers rising. 1 anniversary, rooftop under stars, he knelt. Marry me? Not for show, for us. Tears blurred. Yes. Vows exchanged at City Hall, simple, profound. Rings glinted, steel etched with hearts. The villain's weakness? Nah. His heart, our heart, beat strongest. Decades etched their gentle chaos. Laughter echoing through our upstate home, where city escapes yielded to rolling hills and a studio brimming with my designs. Logos for causes, murals of resilience. Damien, silver threading his temples, traded boardrooms for mentorships, his gravel voice guiding boardless youths through coming-out tempests. I was you, he'd say, scared but fierce. On that fire. Our boys grew. Theo, the trans trailblazer, captaining debate teams with arguments sharp as Damien's deals. Luca, fluid and fabulous, choreographing school musicals that shattered norms. Holidays swelled with Jamie's clan, Sophia's poetry recitals, their twins' antics rivaling Luca's flair. Auntie Jamie's Trouble Squad, Theo dubbed them, dodging water balloons at barbecues. Yet age whispered reminders, aches in joints, memories sharpening regrets. One autumn, leaves aflame, Damien confessed over cider by the fire pit. Sometimes I miss the edge, the villain rush. I arched a brow, hand over his. Miss almost murdering me. He chuckled, deep and warm. Nah, miss proving them wrong. His eyes, still stormy, held depths mined through trials. The Foundation's expansions, legal battles won against conversion camps, pride speeches that drew presidents. You still do, I said, kissing knuckles scarred from fights long past. Every day. Echoes had faded entirely. No glitches, no pulls. The series? A relic, archived in a box with my old tablet, dust-gathered testament to origins. But fans evolved. Conventions where unchained cosplayers celebrated redemption, not ruin. Riley, now a tech mogul, keynote beside us. Their journey from hacker to hero mirroring ours. Conflict resurfaced subtly. Theo's crisis, 16 and reeling from a crush's rejection. Bigoted parents pulling him from school. Why can't I just be normal? He hurled, slamming doors. Damien and I tag-teamed. Walks in the woods, my sketches of his emotions. Angry reds fading to hopeful blues. Normal's a lie, Damien told him. You're you, brilliant, unbreakable. That's the win. Theo softened, emerging activist, organizing teen forums. Pride swelled with his float. Our family front row, tears mingling with cheers. Luca's turn came softer, questioning labels, fearing erasure. What if I don't fit? Sleepless talks, Jamie piping in via video. Boxes are for storage, Mijo. You're the whole damn rainbow. Growth bloomed, but loss shadowed. Jamie's diagnosis, cancer creeping uninvited. We rallied. Fundraisers, experimental trials. Her laugh defiant to the end. At her bedside, Sophia reciting vows anew. Jamie gripped my hand. Keep twisting plots, Ethan. Make him count. Her passing carved hollows, but her lens lived on. Galleries donating proceeds to us. Memorial. Beach at dusk. Photos projected on waves. Stories shared under lanterns. Damien spoke last. She captured truths we hid. Lived louder than any villain. Healing wove slow. Group hikes. Theo's poetry echoing Sophia's. Luca's dances honoring Jamie. Damien and I, anchors, found solace in quiet. Porch swings at twilight. Hands entwined. Watching fireflies mimic stars. The ultimate twist, a letter, yellowed, from Evan's pocket postmortem. Found in estate cleanup, read by firelight. Damien, if you're reading this, I'm gone. But don't armor up. Love hard like Dad wished. For both of us. Your weak spot, always. Tears fell, Damien's shoulders shook. He knew. He did. I held him, heart full. Weakness? Legacy. Golden years graced us. Travels. Paris cafes where Damien sketched caricatures, my designs adorning boutiques. Retreats to the High Line. Roots revisited. Grandkids tumbled in. Theo's twins, Luca's artist partner birthing a dreamer. Holidays boomed. Tables groaning under feasts. Stories spinning like threads. One eve, snow blanketing grounds. Damien pulled me to the study. Our first haven. Remember the knife? Hard to forget. Grin shared. He knelt again, arthritic but steady, renewing vows with a band etched deeper. Forever's not plot. It's us. Yes. Kiss sealed, eternal. As years waned, hospital beds loomed, not feared, but faced. Damien first, pneumonia claiming quick. I sat vigil, boys flanking, grandkids' hands in mine. Love you, he whispered, eyes locking as in that first falter. My heart. Yours. Last breath sighed, peace profound. Grief's wave crashed, but buoyed by family. Letters to Evan read aloud. Foundation galas in his name. I lingered, sketching legacies, until my turn. Surrounded, Theo's voice steady. Dad's waiting, pops. Fade gentle, no glitch, just light, pulling home. In ether's weave, stories merge. Alex's dreams fulfilled, Ethan's arc complete. The villain? Hero eternal, heart unchained. And somewhere, pages turn, not to tragedy, but triumph.